What is going on? Welcome back to the Water Boys. We are back for another episode. Back better than ever. Week 2 NFL is already started technically, but which means we're back. We are second episode in a row, boys. We're doing pretty good here. Let's see
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. See if we can string some more together. But fellas, how we feeling?
We were talking off camera, and I'm down in the dumps. Just came fresh from the ODU game where they blew a 17-point lead to Wake Forest, so a little bit sad. I'm not gonna lie, but the boys played their hearts out there and gave it their best. It just wasn't enough. So,
Yeah.
High
Tough
points, not really high points, but positives to move forward and grow on and put together a decent season still. So we'll see. But I'm a little sad. But hey, we're back on the pod.
Back on the pod, feeling good. Jackson, how are you?
Yeah. I'm doing well. I'm traveling a little bit at the tail end of this week. Got to catch the Eagles-Vikings game, which is very fun. My first NFL night game ever.
Oh.
Really enjoyed it. Even though I'm not I'm not like against either the Eagles or the Vikings, but I'm not necessarily for either. Just had the opportunity to go. I could not believe the Philadelphia fan base. They show up. Like there were maybe 10 Vikings jerseys in the stadium. I could not believe, and it was sold out. It was awesome. Really cool experience. Honestly, made me a little ashamed of the showings I've seen the Jaguars fans have down in Jacksonville, but it's okay. It was still a cool experience. Check that off the bucket list. NFL night game.
Pretty good game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was a great game. Vikings turned the ball over way too much early, but
Yeah.
We don't have to get into that stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle,
I'm doing well.
how's your week?
It was good. Spinning on a boat, chilling in the Bahamas, just cruising.
Nice.
Cruising.
It's great.
It was a good time. Good time to get away.
A little vacay.
Came back this morning. It's Saturday. And after being in the heat, 100 degrees, I got off the boat and I said, ooh, let me throw on my hoodie. It's like 65 degrees. I said, ooh, it is football season.
Mm-hmm. I was wearing my little jacket this morning too. There's a little chill in the air. It made me happy for fall. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're barely getting this episode in before Sunday, but we wanted to because we said we were going to be committed to this.
Yep.
And so it's never too late to, get our thoughts out for week 2, but also just to kind of recap a little bit of week 1, some of our general thoughts, and I'm excited to dive into it. So, Kyle, what's up first?
So, we're going to just spend a couple minutes here going over some personal topics here. We just decided if you got a thought on your mind, get it out in the pod. I know Steve's got some thoughts. Jackson's stewing something up over there. And I had a very random thought that I was thinking about. It's not the first time I've heard people talk about it. You guys might have nothing to say about it, but I'm really interested what you guys think about it because I don't really know what I think about it. But I was thinking about the NFL and all the teams and whatnot, and I was thinking about the Premier League Soccer League.
Okay.
Any of you soccer fans?
Can't say I am.
So we got two different types of football and football, but what I was thinking about is, I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, is the Premier League relegation system.
Yeah.
Don't know if you're familiar with it, Steve. You gave me a little.
I am not familiar with it.
So you are familiar with the English Premier League, correct?
Yes.
So there are also a bunch of pro. I guess it might go down to semi-pro. I think it goes all the way down to like your basic, leagues. But at the end of the season, the bottom team in the Premier League gets booted to the lower league, and the best team from the lower league gets moved up to the Premier League. So it's a very interesting, system. And I was just thinking about the NFL, and currently we don't have enough leagues to put this in place. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think it's a good idea? Do you think, obviously we'd have to have more teams and more leagues, but you've got like the XFL who could maybe expand and whatever. I personally think that I hate tanking And it pretty much puts that out of the picture because if you tank your season, you're going to be last in the league and you get booted from the NFL. Just a random thought.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I've actually given this thought before. I actually got in a conversation with someone at the Eagles Vikings game about this exact concept and how it would play out in football. So it's really funny that you bring this up.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy world, small world. Football, I don't know how it would work with the relegation system in particular, just because the average lifespan of a player, and what I mean by that is how long they're in the NFL or just playing professional in general. I just don't know if we could get a long enough career. Like with baseball and soccer, they can play a little bit longer than the average football player, excusing Tom Brady. But that's, if Aaron Rodgers showed us one thing, it gets harder to play when you're in your late 30s. And injuries are more common, and quarterback is one of the only positions where you can actually make it even into your late 30s, except for kicker, obviously. But any of those low impact positions. But I don't know how it would work. I would love the concept of it because it could get rid of tanking. I think the NFL should just adopt the same draft system that the NBA has, where it's a lottery and you get more lottery, balls or picks or tokens or whatever, if you were worse that season. That way, it's not necessarily guaranteeing you the first overall pick. I think that would solve that tanking problem, but the concept of relegation, fascinating. I don't know how it would practically play out in a league where players just don't last that long. But that's just my take. I love the concept of it, so I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
I do too. I agree. I love the concept. I think, with the Premier League, there are so many different levels and teams throughout the whole league, so it does work. But with the NFL, it's just not big enough, and I don't foresee it getting big enough to ever do it. Love the concept. Jackson, I was going to definitely say that NFL needs a lottery. I know Major League Baseball, they just adopted it. I think this past draft was the first year they did it. And it was basically to prevent the Orioles from doing what they've done for 20 years. And they've just been awful for years and years and years. And now, of course, they have a great farm system, which good on them. They drafted well. But it's preventing them from doing that and from giving up, after the All-Star break when all hope is lost. So similar to how that fixed Major League Baseball's issue, I think it would definitely help with the National Football League. Another thought that I had about it is that, we're getting into an interesting time where I feel like non-free agents have power to pick where they go, which I know there's no trade clauses and there's player options and stuff like that, but you're hearing more and more guys that are requesting a trade, and then they have a say where they can go after that. And so
Absolutely.
trade requests, I feel like, didn't used to be a big of a deal, but now I feel like we're seeing them more and more. So if you implement this system where, if you're, I don't know, I'll just use the Browns, for example. If you're the Browns and it's looking like you're not going to be in the NFL next year, you're going to have players requesting trades constantly, year after year, and then you're never going to be able to grow back your team again.
That's a great point.
So I think
I didn't even think about that.
I think that would cause a lot of issues for guys who have these high egos but also want to play and have a great career. They don't want to be a part of a team that's going to be a fringe NFL team year after year after year. So
maybe they should work harder instead of asking for more money and requesting trades.
I wouldn't tell them that, but
Yeah.
but
Also,
that's my thought on that. No,
That's a
it.
good point. That's a good point, Steve.
Yeah, it is a good point. And going off that, football is one of those sports where it's more of a I don't know what the technical term is, but the teams are only as good as their least skilled player versus some other sports, basketball being one of them, where it's more based on the most skilled player. One player can carry a team. That doesn't happen in football. It needs to be a system. Everyone needs to do their job. It needs to work in harmony. A team with the most talent doesn't necessarily beat a team that's better schemed and better coached. So it'd be interesting to see really good players end up on a really bad team and then get booted out of the NFL. But Yeah, I didn't even think about
viewer
the player empowerment aspect.
the viewership would go way down because NFL
Mm.
loves to feed on. I mean, just look at the Jets. I sent you guys something on Tuesday, and it was like the Jets have 5 primetime games this year. The
Yeah,
Packers, they have 1, and it was
yeah,
completely flipped from last year because it's the star player effect. So,
right.
yeah, if you got
Yeah, it'd be
guys
interesting.
on bad teams that are stars, it's not going to help the
I
viewership.
I love the thought though. I really do. Like the
I
concept of it is awesome.
I do
Yeah.
definitely think that there needs to be something, not incentive, but something to control tanking. Because, remember the whole tank for Tua thing, like that was big. And now we're going into a year where we're looking at probably one of the best, or not best ever, but one of the more stacked draft classes as far as quarterbacks go that we've seen in a while. So it's
Yeah.
for a lot of teams, this is a critical year for being bad. And that's not what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Good
that's
thought.
it. That's my thought. Thanks for pitching your thoughts in, and that's it.
Okay, excellent.
Steve.
I'm moving
Awesome.
on. So, and just the point of this is like, for example, Kyle, you were out of town, Jackson out of town for part of it. We didn't get to talk about any of this, so we're just letting it all out. These are the thoughts that I've been thinking about since Monday night. Mine is Jets focused, and because of my fandom to the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers holds a place in my heart, and I did not want to see him go down like this. It did.
Yeah.
It did make me a little bit sad. I'm not going to root against the guy. I just felt like it was time to move on from him. It's just very different. So to see him go down 4 plays into his season really sucked. And so I've just been thinking about the Jets going forward. And, most people are going to write him off because it's Zach Wilson again. And we saw what Zach Wilson did last year, and it was a failure. This year, these are my thoughts. It's different. He's going to be a better quarterback. I think just him coming into that situation when nobody thought he was going to play that early on in the game, let alone the season. For him to come in prime time, all the expectations of that season on his shoulders, and then for everyone just to go ahead and write off the Jets as soon as they saw him run onto the field, for him to come in and win. It wasn't pretty, but he won, and he controlled the offense. He stayed composed, and the biggest thing was the support from his teammates, which wasn't there last year. Remember, he was sitting alone on the sideline. People were complaining about him behind his back. I think Garrett Wilson was, and you see guys like Alan Lazard, veteran guys who played with Rodgers, come up and support him throughout the game. So my thought is, going forward, I think the Jets are actually still going to be okay. They might not win the division. They might not have won it with Rodgers, but I think that Zach Wilson having a camp under Aaron Rodgers is going to help his career going forward. I think he learned a lot. He's more comfortable. His teammates have seen a different side of him, and I think him being a backup for a short amount of time was very important for his growth in the NFL, and I think the Jets are going to be okay going forward for this year.
Steve likes the Jets. Good take.
I didn't say the Jets. I didn't say I like the Jets. I said I have hope for the Jets.
I have hope for them because they did win the game without Rodgers. Like Rodgers played maybe 4 snaps, I think. Like he didn't really had no impact on that game whatsoever. So Zach Wilson won the game. I think it's more so Josh Allen lost the game.
I was getting ready to say, was it that the Jets won the game, or was it that the Bills lost the game?
But I do think there's a relationship there, and that the Jets defense is really, really solid.
Yeah.
They have a very, very good defense. So I'm not going to take that away from the Jets. That was an impressive win. The Bills are a hard team to beat. They're consistently a 12-win team at least. So that's a huge accomplishment. That's not only an AFC win, but it's a divisional win. So that's technically they have 2 games up on the Bills now. So that's huge for them. And I'm with you, Steve. I actually do like Zach Wilson more this year when traditionally I have hated him. There's less pressure. There's less expectations. He's in his third year now, so he's got a little bit more familiarity with this system. Obviously, new system, but he's had Aaron Rodgers help coach him through. I think their offensive coordinators say that Aaron Rodgers has taught Zach Wilson more than any of the coaching staff combined just in like the 3 months since he's been there, which is a really impactful thing to hear from the offensive coordinator, right? Or maybe that was the quarterback coach. I'm not sure, but like some member of the coaching staff from the Jets said that post game after that win over the Bills. So I do think he'll do a little better. But I'm not excited to see him in 5 primetime games either. Traditionally, watching the Jets is like watching the Broncos. It's just painful. Lately, anyway, it's just like this is not very exciting. It doesn't make for good TV. It is good football in that he's not necessarily turning the ball over too much, but as long as he doesn't turn the ball over 4 times, Josh Allen, he should be fine. That's how you single-handedly lose a game, especially when you have the weapons in defense and just supporting staff in general around him.
So, little side note: are you panicking on the Bills here?
Yes, I am. I'm not panicking, but they've been a team I've loved ever since Josh Allen really came into the league, but especially when he started, improving his game and really establishing himself as allegedly now one of the more elite quarterbacks. I think what happened the other night was just weird. I don't understand why he played the way he played. He was making some dumb decisions and trying to play hero ball a lot. And the Jets defense is not the only good defense he will face, and he's just going to have to take what they give him. The fact that I don't remember how many picks he had 3 or 4 with at least one fumble. 3 picks and at least one fumble. So that's 4 turnovers. They lost by a touchdown. It was a punt return. Like, it went to overtime. Like, if he just kicks a field goal in any of those drives, doesn't even get to overtime, right? So I don't like his lack of being able to control a game. Steven, I think you told me this. I don't think he's ever won an overtime game.
I don't think that was me, but I'll
it
take
wasn't
credit.
you? Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who said that, but he's just not. He doesn't. He has some games where he throws for like 4 touchdowns, but other games where he doesn't. And I was again watching the NFL Network like I do a lot, and they threw a stat up there that since he really establishes himself as an elite quarterback, he is by far leading the pack in quarterbacks for turnovers. Like, second is Justin Fields, and he's ahead of him by like 9 picks. And so I don't like the amount of interceptions he throws. I'd rather him throw a little bit less touchdowns and just cut down on the interceptions because sometimes they're crucial, and it's shooting the team in the foot. And the thing is, he takes responsibility, right? Like in the press game, he said, "Yeah, this is on me." But to a certain degree, I'd like to see them change something up. I don't know whether it's a scheme issue. It doesn't seem to be, but they need a run game. They said they were going to have a run game this year. They had no resemblance of one. Again, might just be the Jets defense. I'm excited about week 2. Week 1's hard to call real conclusions, but yeah, I mean, I am slightly panicked on the Bills. It's too early to tell, but I don't know. I just don't think they're going to get it done at the end of the year. They'll probably make the playoffs though.
Yeah.
So
I think if Tua stays healthy, that's the Dolphins' division to lose, because of their explosiveness, and they have a decent team. Their defense will be, but if they can keep scoring at the rate that they did on week 1, I think they can turn some heads. But yeah, I mean, final closing remarks as far as my thought. I by no means think that Zach Wilson's good. Okay, I think he's gotten better, and I think that people are writing the Jets off already. But I wouldn't yet. I think they'll be competitive for a wild card. I think they should stick it out for a few more weeks. If it gets ugly, it gets ugly. Pick somebody else up, free agent, or trade for Kirk Cousins' name is going around. People are already writing off the Vikings, and so he's going to be a free agent. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I just wouldn't write off the Jets yet. They've got a good team around him. They've got a good coaching staff. And
great team.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be wearing a headset on the sideline and still mentoring Zach Wilson. And if you want to compare what backup quarterbacks do, look at Jordan Love. He sat under Rodgers, and he's turned into a star.
Okay.
No, that's a great take. I think a lot of people are going to write them off, and they are a very good football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They definitely shouldn't trade for a quarterback. I think that'd be foolish. I think that's just media being media.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's writing them off. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
No,
tricky.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will see. We will see in due time. In due time.
It's a
Jackson.
long season.
It is. It's a long season. Jackson, what's on your mind?
Well, I feel like I got most of it out with the Josh Allen take. I kind of
Okay, all right.
stole Steven's show there. I apologize, but
It
yeah,
is, it
I
was
mean,
related. It's okay.
it was, yeah. Or two sides of the same coin, I suppose. He just keeps turning the ball over. Josh Allen, that is, and I love watching him play. He is super exciting. But there was one play he hurdled a guy on like 3rd and 8 when he was like a yard past the line of scrimmage, and there were like 3 guys like converging on him, and he just took a massive hit. And it's just one of those things where you're just like, stop that. Like, you're not going to be able to keep doing that. Like, what are you doing? Like that you didn't convert that drive, and you're going to have to punt. It's okay. I think he's been beat by Mahomes doing Mahomes things too often, and he's not Mahomes. Like, I don't think he's quite as good. I think the plays that Mahomes makes is just a God-given talent and his ability to feel out the field. And his spatial awareness is just incredible in terms of him like throwing these crazy throws across his body, all this stuff. I just don't think that's Josh Allen. Now, Josh Allen has a crazy strong arm. But I think they could have just won that game if he had just not turned the ball over. And it wouldn't have been a pretty win. He would have had a flat stat line, but they would have won. And I don't think he's okay with that. I think that he needs to feel like he's carrying his team. I don't know if it's conscious, but it's at least subconscious. So it's frustrating to see because that team is so talented, and I think they're moving past their opportunity to get a Super Bowl. I don't know how the rest of the team feels per se, but I'd be getting frustrated because these kind of games start to pile up, and it's like, you just got to stop. I don't think it's a talent issue. Like, I kind of pity Justin Fields. I don't pity Josh Allen. I'm just like, don't throw the ball. Just throw it away. Does that make sense in the difference? Like, I don't think it's just that he's bad. I think he's just stupid sometimes when he's with the ball. He's careless. I'd really like to see that improved.
If I remember correctly,
So-
when he was coming out of Wyoming, that actually was the concern. Is ball
That was,
security.
yeah,
So-
it was.
And
It totally was, yeah.
He kind of got away with it a little bit at the start of his career, but now that he's expected to lead this team to the Super Bowl after the past 2 years, they've been, high favorites, we'll say, and they haven't shown up. So now it's coming to light when it matters most. And I don't know. I wouldn't say time's running out for Josh Allen, but I mean, he needs to prove himself a little bit more.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Maybe some panic time for the Bills. We will find
Maybe.
out in week 2 as they take on Vegas, I believe. We'll see what happens there. But those are just some takes that we had from this week. I think it is time to move on to picks. Fellas,
Whoop.
I believe Steven is in first, 10-6, I believe, right?
10-6.
10-6.
Jackson.
Jackson is in second, with Steve just spat him out. I don't know the numbers.
9-7.
9-7, and then me with a measly 8-8. Got to get back on that. We'll get back this week.
Right.
But
Hey, we're all 500 and above to start the year. That's good.
yes,
Yeah.
Strong
yes.
start,
That's not
some
bad.
say. Some say.
It's not bad.
And I believe we all took the Eagles, correct?
I did not. I took Vikings. So I am already down a game. I'm technically tied with Kyle at the moment.
True.
So that's an unfortunate loss. I had some money on them as well, at least to go up by 7. So that was a bummer to see all those fumbles early, but it is what it is. It was more of a hopeful Eagles coming out flat. Like, I really did not want to see them do well. And I ever since quarterback kind of have like a soft spot for Kirk Cousins. So I was really hoping he would not start 0-2. But
Okay, actually, real quick, Jackson, you were at this game.
yeah,
Philadelphia fans, we know, there's a stigma about them that they're unique, they're hardcore.
Very much. I
Tell
couldn't
us,
believe how true it
tell
was.
us what you experienced, because I've seen videos on social media just from this week of Viking fans entering the stadium and how bad it was for them. So,
Oh
what
yeah,
was it
it's.
like?
I mean, there was like no purple. I'm not exaggerating. I was eventually just trying to find the jerseys because I was so shocked at how few there were. And when had a vantage point where I could see, like I was kind of like the corner of one of the end zones, and I could see a lot of the stadium, and I just could not find a lot of purple. On top of that, Eagles fans are very intense, like very intense. Just walking into the game, walking through the gates, they were just screaming. Like it just didn't. It was nonstop noise. Not only that, but like you couldn't bring alcohol into the stadium. I swear, walking in, there were like 10 different guys just trying to like chug their beers just to like buy another one, like 30 feet inside. Like it was a wild game. They were very rowdy. Really cool to see them bring the team out of the tunnel, though. They got hyped for that. It was very cool. I also got to see Reggie the bald eagle there, like 10 feet from me. By the way, I saw him fly in the stadium, but then they brought him to the suite I was in, which was super cool. So I got to get close to him, but there was a certain line he couldn't cross. I couldn't pet him.
Yeah,
He's a big bird. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience.
Reggie the
Definitely.
bird.
Yeah, I don't know why his name's Reggie, but I might be getting that wrong. I loved seeing the generational fan base. Like people had jerseys from players that are long gone. They had like the Kelly Green retro jerseys out, not just of Hurts because they opened that up in the NFL shop this year, but also of players that haven't been there for forever. Like I'm not even talking about like Donovan McNabb. I'm talking about like I don't know, like Randall Cunningham or something like that, right? Like it was just like, yeah, exactly. And it was cool to see that. Made me, because I'm a Jaguars fan, hopeful of what our fan base could be in like 20 or 30 years. Just because like the team is as old as me, which is 25. So like it's not like 25 years versus the Eagles have just generations of fans, like people who were born an Eagles fan and have died an Eagles fan, right? We don't really have that yet. So it was an experience for sure. Wouldn't say I came out more fond of the Eagles. If anything, they're more annoying after meeting a lot of their fans. On top of how successful they were at just running the ball, and the Vikings couldn't stop them. It was so frustrating. I think Swift had 175 yards.
Yeah, crazy.
Which is just stupid. Hurts had 2 rushing touchdowns. It was frustrating to watch. But cool experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like it's
nice.
probably
Thanks for asking.
probably one of those venues and places you have to see a game sometime, just because of the atmosphere. So good for
It's
you.
worth it. It's worth it.
Just don't go if you're the opposing team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not. I don't think I'd want to do that. Not that the Jaguars really ever play the Eagles for any reason, but still.
Yeah.
All right. Great
Tough
report.
environment.
Stay away from
Yep.
Philly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's dive into some picks. As we mentioned, we picked
Picks.
Thursday off camera. Kyle and I are 1-0 on the week. Jackson is 0-1. So starting off Sunday, we've got my Green Bay Packers taking on the Falcons.
Pack.
I mean, I don't. Is this a question? Like, what's with the silence? Come on. Pack all the way
Jackson's-
across. Jackson, what's going on? Answer. What are you doing?
Packers. I'll
Attaboy.
choose Packers. Yeah.
Oh, that was
Gosh, dang.
talk about a hesitation.
I'm already sweating. Whew. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. Just Falcons have some young talent. I don't know if y'all saw the move Bijan Robinson put on that cornerback, but it was like that throwback Percy Harvin juke where he dropped 2 people on the same play. Yeah, that was nasty. So I'm excited to see the game. I'm excited to see the game.
I ain't worried. If you saw our defense against the Bears, you shouldn't be worried either.
Bears suck.
It's true.
Yeah, they do. They're terrible.
They do. All right. Moving
Not that
along.
the Falcons don't.
Moving
but,
along. Raiders at Bills. Tricky one. Tricky
This
one
is a
here.
tricky one.
Gosh.
I'm calling a bounce back for the Bills. Go Buffalo.
I like that. I am as well.
Yeah, I think if Derek Carr were still at the Raiders, I'd choose Raiders here.
Yeah.
But I'm just not a. I haven't really seen Garoppolo do much in his career that's been impressive. He was always on the Niners, and we're seeing how every quarterback that has a beating heart just becomes a top 10 quarterback there. So, yeah, I'm gonna take Bills.
Okay. Another tricky one. Ravens at Bengals.
Bengals killed me last week.
They did.
Bengals.
I'm going to take the Ravens.
I'll take the Ravens as well.
Oh, I thought you
Ooh,
said
yeah.
Bengals. Sorry.
No. I said Bengals killed me
Oh,
last week
okay.
because
I
they
just wrote
lost
down-
30-24 against the Browns.
I just wrote down Bengals when you said that. All right.
Yeah.
Seahawks at Lions.
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 See what they can do.
Pains me to pick them, but I'm going to pick the Lions as well.
Yeah, that's an impressive week 1 win.
It really was. And
It
they're going
was.
to build on it. They'll be better.
I hope so.
It scares me. Colts at Texans.
Oh gosh.
Anthony Richardson versus C.J. Stroud.
I'm going Colts.
I'll take the Colts as well.
Oh man, I'll take Colts too. I think.
Jackson,
Yeah.
you're not a fan of Richardson.
I'm not. I think people thought he had a good week 1, which he was okay from a stat line. One of his, I don't know how many passing touchdowns he had. I think just the one was a 3rd and 27 on a wide receiver screen that we let go like 36 yards for a touchdown, which is just like, that's not him. He threw the ball backwards. Most of his completions were like slants across the middle. They ran the ball at will. Once our defense started playing that, we killed them in the 4th quarter. Like we dropped one of our safeties or took one of them out, took out a nickel corner. I don't know what we did, but once we started loading the box, they couldn't do anything. So I think he's fairly one-dimensional. I think he is an exciting player, but I think once defenses figure out how to play him, they aren't going to go anywhere.
That's fair. All right, another
Yeah.
huge game. Chiefs at Jaguars.
Duval.
We know where Jackson's going.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
I'm going with
Yeah.
the Chiefs.
I know.
Sorry,
I get it.
Jackson.
Sorry.
No, I get it. I understand it.
But,
I'm not going
it's
to
a-
pick against my own team, but
It's a Chiefs, but in my mind, there's a hopeful Jags just for you.
we're
It
at
is a-
Jacksonville. That helps.
Yeah.
It is a hopeful
We had,
Jags
like,
for me as
yeah.
well. That's a good
Yeah.
point, Steven. I don't want to pick the Chiefs,
Yeah,
but
the pool.
I also want to win.
Catch me
the
at that
picks.
pool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, this
That's
is
a
about
nasty pool.
this is about stats here. It's about
Yes.
stats, not
Yeah.
feelings.
No hard feelings.
All right,
I get it.
Bears,
I
Bears, Bears at Bucks.
I like Baker.
Go Bucks.
Go
Go Bucks.
All right, can't pick the Bears. Never pick the Bears.
Yeah.
All right, Chargers at Titans. Titans looks rough. I'm going Chargers. Although Austin Eckler is out this week, so Josh Kelly will be taking most of the snaps behind Mr. Herbert. So just
Yeah.
food for thought.
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go Titans just because I don't really like the Chargers.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take the Bolts. I'll take Chargers.
Okay. All right. Giants at Cardinals.
Giants.
Man.
Ooh, that's super interesting. Giants were terrible. I do think they have some resemblance of a bounce back week. The Cardinals defense is anything but the Cowboys defense. They're nothing alike. So
I'm taking
Saquon's
Giants.
going to feast.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. We got Giants across the board. 49ers at Rams.
Niners. Rams had a good week though. I will say.
They did. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to do anything, but they actually
Yeah.
put together a fine game. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jets at Cowboys. Huge test for the Jets.
Huge test for the Jets, and you never choose the Cowboys, so we're going Jets, Jets.
Bold.
I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I'm excited to see those defenses. I think it's going to be a battle of the defenses, which quarterback can break the opposing defense. I think Prescott, his experience, and the weapons they have will have a little bit more success. But I could be wrong. I mean, Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook look like a crazy duo in the backfield. So we'll see.
All right. We're lost my spot. All right. Commanders at Broncos.
Don't even need to ask. Although, just side note, didn't quite look like I was hoping they would look.
I was gonna ask you once
Yeah.
we got here.
It was a little rusty. Not horrible, but they should have won that game way, more handily than they did. Still hopeful. I think we got to work some kinks out, and I think we're getting Chase Young back this week, so the defense will be at full strength, hopefully. Young quarterback.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
No, y'all's defense actually looked great last week. Very tough conditions. Sam Howell didn't take care of the football. And I was a little sad because I texted you guys and I said, really impressed
Yeah.
by Sam Howell. He looks good. And then the rest of the game, he stunk. So,
Yeah.
Jinxed it.
he'll get by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
got.
going-
He's,
I'm going to choose the Broncos, though.
Oh,
Sorry, Kyle.
it's okay. Hey, I didn't choose the Jags. No hard feelings.
Yeah. I mean, at Denver, I think helps. I also think the Broncos are better than they were last year, even though they did lose week 1. I like Sean Payton. I like Russell Wilson over Sam Howell and whoever's coaching the Commanders. Ron Rivera still.
Easy. All right. You're getting a little. I gave you the pick, but let's tone it down. All right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go with the Commanders. I think they, I would say bounce back, but they won. But I think they clean it up. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
That's my swing pick.
Okay, there you
I
go.
like it.
All right, Sunday night, Dolphins at Patriots.
The Fins.
Kyle, you know how a few years ago I was high on the Bills?
Yes.
I'm high on the Dolphins this year.
I was high on the Bills as well. I am still hopeful high on the Bills, but changing it to the Dolphins now, huh?
I think so. Yeah.
If Tua can stay healthy, I think they could be
That's-
really, really good.
That's the key.
Obviously, last year he got absolutely obliterated.
Yeah.
So we'll see what effect that has going through the whole season. But I like the Fins here.
Yeah. Jackson?
Fins.
Okay.
Dolphins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dolphins across the board. All right. And then we got 2 Monday night games. We got Saints at Panthers. But that just doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the Saints though.
Both of these matchups kind of blow.
Yeah.
I
That's probably why I like
like
two
the
games.
Saints this year. Both of these are divisional matchups, which I like. That makes it a little bit more exciting. Bryce Young didn't look that great. I picked the Saints against Titans last week, so I'm definitely going to pick them against the Panthers.
Didn't the
They
Panthers
didn't.
get smacked by
The Falcons.
the Falcons?
Yeah, Falcons did look good last week. I think the Packers are still going to beat them, but I did pause for a while for a reason. I don't know whether to take the Steelers or Browns, though.
Wait,
That's,
Kyle, who you got? Did you pick Saints?
I'm gonna go
Okay.
Saints. Yeah.
Sorry, it's a lot to keep track of here, guys.
No, you're good.
All right. Yeah. So then last game, Browns and Steelers. This one is in Pittsburgh. Browns really. I loved my pick from last week. That was a good
It was a great pick,
swing
Stephen.
pick.
It was a great pick.
Browns came through for me. I'm taking them again.
I'm gonna go with the Browns as well.
Oh, now I want to pick the Steelers just to have another swing pick, but
Could swing the wrong way.
it could swing the wrong way. The Browns did look good, and they did win. Wow. This is one of those ones where I want to call a tie again. I'll go with Browns. I really don't know who's winning that game. I don't know each team well enough, I guess.
This is
I'll go
the
Browns.
type of matchup that would result in a tie, like a good 20-20 tie.
Yeah, that's literally the number I was thinking in my head was 20-20. But Browns did win like 24-3, right? And then Steelers
Yeah.
got killed. So I'll just go based off their week 1 showings.
Yeah. It's bold to take a
yeah.
it's bold to take a tie. You can't just throw those around willy nilly. You gotta really be sure of it. So
Well, okay. Here's the thing: if I were to choose a tie, do I get more points if that's true? And if so, how many?
I would say
I
two.
could see two more
then
like games, like two
So
more
so two
wins.
total or two more? So like three total or two?
So like instead of
I'm not choosing a tie.
I
Do
know,
you know
I know.
there are like two ties
but like
a year?
instead of you
I
going
hate
down a
ties.
game,
Can we
it's
talk
like you
about
win
that?
two. I do too.
I hate ties as well, Kyle. I'm with you.
This is a professional league, and we're sitting here
Yeah.
doing ties like the YMCA down the road. This is ridiculous.
or
I hate
or
ties.
soccer.
Yeah, that I know we're talking about the relegation, but I can't stand
Yeah.
soccer. By the way, like I don't watch. I mean, it's
Oh,
not that I
okay.
can't stand it. I don't watch it.
Right.
I'm just like whenever World Cup or Euros.
I will
or
watch
that
the
comes
World
on,
Cup.
yeah.
But I'm not a soccer
More of a
fan at
national
all.
soccer fan. So you can.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm a casual soccer fan, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Barely
Anyways.
casual. I'm just pro USA women's, USA men's. I'm
There
there.
we go.
But otherwise,
There
I
you go.
don't. Yeah.
Well, that rounds out our picks, and then we're gonna dive into the last bit of this episode. Last man standing.
Oh yeah.
We
Let's go.
we're all
This
still
is
standing.
exciting.
It
This
is.
is exciting.
Yeah. Last man
It
standing.
feels to me. It feels just like high leverage. Like it's a lot rides on this, but we don't know.
Yeah.
what rides.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just to give everyone a recap of the rules of this segment, we're doing a pick each week, picking a team that we feel very strongly about. And whenever that host picks that team is now off the table for the other two hosts. So, last week, I believe, who went first again?
I did.
Think Steven. No, Kyle did. Kyle went first and picked his team, the Commanders, over the Cardinals. Great pick. Definitely down to the wire, but he got it. So he gets through week one with a clean slate, as did Steven, picking the Ravens over Texans, which I would like to say, and I did say this on air, would have been my pick. My backup failed me, and I cannot believe how bad the Bengals got beat by the Browns. It wasn't even close. Like, it looked like a terrible pick. So that's unfortunate. The elimination strategy we're going with for this game is a 3 strikes and you're out system. So I have 1 strike. I have 1 tisk, if you will.
I
So
have an X next to your name, so that's 1.
great.
Don't get
That's
three.
1. Don't get 3. But I'm excited for week 2. Hopefully you guys can get some strikes and I'll be going through.
Here's
2
the
again.
counter.
It's
It was
time.
2.
No, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it.
Oh,
Okay, I was like, you're kidding me.
It's
Am
time.
I 1 or 3? I don't remember.
You are 3. I'm 2.
Let's go.
No, I'm 1. Kyle's 2.
Okay, let's go.
All right, we'll let the phone decide. It's
Give it to me.
backwards for those of you watching online. Oh. Oh, I messed it up. All right, here we go.
Unbelievable.
Here we go.
Give me a 3. Oh no, not again!
Wow.
I think we should
crazy.
rotate. This is stupid. All right, go ahead.
Hey, the phone spoke.
It's
The phone has spoken. Can't choose the Eagles. Too late.
I can't choose.
It's true.
Just I'm not gonna pick them, but like I can't pick the Commanders for the rest of the season, right?
Yes, that's the other aspect of this game. I didn't mention that. Once a host picks that team, it is off the table for them for the remainder of the season.
Gotcha.
So I can't pick the Bengals. Not that I ever want to again after what happened. Steven can't pick the Ravens, and Kyle cannot pick the Commanders.
Gotcha.
So there is a strategy to this game. You don't always just want to pick like a Chiefs level team.
Yes. So
Yeah.
here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to take the Dolphins.
I like it.
I am not confident enough in anyone else.
These are hard. This is hard. This is really hard.
Yeah.
All right. So Kyle, Dolphins, book it.
Dolphins.
All right.
Lock it in.
I got it.
It's gonna be 2 again. I knew it.
Dude, this
What?
thing is rigged. It's the same order. What is going on? I don't like this.
Jackson.
All right.
Jackson, the phone spoke.
Shush. All
spoke.
right. Go ahead, Steve.
All right.
Who you got?
I think I'm leaving you options here. I don't really want to pick any of these games. Like, I want to pick the Packers. I think they'll win, but I don't want to use that yet. I'll save that one for the back pocket. Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with a bit of a risky pick here, but I think it'll pay off. I'm gonna go with the
Okay.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
I really like that pick, actually.
I think that's a great pick.
Yeah,
I
that's a great pick.
saw the state of the Bears last year or last week, and
Mm-hmm.
it was pretty poor. And I think the Bucks played all right, so
Yeah.
we're going with the Bucks this week. Don't let me down, Baker.
It's a good pick. Good pick.
All right.
Thank you, Jackson.
Oh,
You can go
I'm
last.
stuck between. Yeah, I'm stuck between the Bills and Niners. I know I'm panicking on the Bills, but I think they'll beat the Raiders. That'd be really bad if they did, and if they started 0-2, that'd be a really interesting start. I
would
don't
be
think
something.
Garoppolo beats Josh Allen. They don't even have a particularly good defense, so I'll go Bills. I'll pick
Wow.
Bills.
Big
I'm gonna pick
trust
Bills.
in the bounce back week.
I think I'd be shocked if they go 1-2. Am I confident they're going to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But they should clean up the Raiders.
Yeah,
They should.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So those are our picks for this week and our last man
Yep.
standing. Jackson, Bills, Kyle, Dolphins, me, Bucks.
Yes.
Interesting. Very interesting games this week. Not very many lopsided games, but I mean, it's week 2, so it's hard to tell. But on paper, it doesn't look too lopsided based off of last week. So
Agreed.
should be a great Sunday. I will just say I enjoyed watching games so much on Sunday last week. It's so nice having
It was
football back.
incredible.
And
I loved it.
Kyle, I know that we're got something in the works for getting some meat on the grill, some boards out,
Yes.
little garage watch party. I
Yes.
think when that happens, man, we're just gonna be in heaven.
It's gonna
Can't
be
wait.
it's gonna be fantastic. The season is it's in full swing, I'd say. Football all around. We got football today. We got football tomorrow. It's just football, football, football. Which nothing wrong with that. Yeah, and we're also back, which is we've said that multiple times, and hopefully we stay back. I feel like we're gonna stay back. We're feeling good.
We are back.
We are back.
are back.
And it's been a great episode.
Hey, tell your friends about us. Let them
Yes.
know that
Yes,
there's a
please do.
podcast that is making another comeback, and all
For
the
the
all
third time.
right, all the listens help. It's why we do it, and to get our thoughts out there. But we
Yeah.
really appreciate all the support that we've
do.
received so far. The feedback on the episodes, we want to make them better. We want to make it so that it is interesting for the listeners, and so yeah, just let us know. Spread the word.
Let us know. Follow us on
the
Instagram, all the socials, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and now YouTube. Go check it out if you want to watch the video. We're loving it. We hope you love it. We hope you enjoy week 2. Fellas, it's been a great episode, and we will see y'all next time.